Hey everyone, I am CT Salazar. I'm one of the librarians here at Delta State University working at the Roberts LaForge Library. And today, this short video is tackling APA citations and sources and avoiding accidental plagiarism. So let me just start the slideshow. Okay, so APA. Some of the things we're going to cover in this presentation include defining citation and plagiarism, learning in-text citations, and how to make a reference page in APA 7, which is the most current APA guideline, and knowing where to look for help citing your sources after this video and in the future. So first, what is citing? So citations are the formal method that scholars use to give credit to sources used in research. And there's at least 4 good reasons why we cite our sources. So the first is obviously to give credit because research is hard work. When you cite the work of someone else, you give that scholar the recognition that they truly deserve. The second reason is to assure readers about the accuracy of your facts. We cite sources to be fair to other researchers and to earn a reader's trust. And a big part of that is being transparent in where we're getting our information. The third reason is to show readers the research tradition that informs your own work. So citations not only help readers understand your project and the data that informs it, but it connects it to other research in the field. And it shows you like the larger picture that your own work is involved in. And the last reason to cite our sources is to help readers follow or extend their own research. And you've probably done this yourself when you've read a paper that fits exactly what you're researching. Then, the next obvious step is to go to the works cited page and see all of the other sources that this scholar has put together. And then you get an entire list of other sources that you need for your own research in your own paper. What is plagiarism? So according to the APA Manual 7th edition, plagiarism is the act of presenting words, ideas, or images of another as your own. It's against your student code of conduct, and it can have consequences on a myriad of social strata, whether it's personal, scholarly, and sometimes even legal. So it's just best to avoid it as much as you can and to never intentionally plagiarize because it's always frowned upon in the scholarly community. So when to cite your sources? You need a citation if you're including paraphrased or summarized information, if you're using a direct quote, if you're referencing graphs, charts, data, or any kind of image. And remember, any information or ideas not of your own creation should be cited unless it's considered that ever ambiguous quote unquote common knowledge or encyclopedic information. So this is the formula for making an in-text citation within the paper in APA. So the in-text citation, just to jog your memory, is in the paper itself. When you have like a direct quote or a paraphrase, then you need that citation at the end of it. And the formula for the in-text citation in APA is the author's last name and the year of publication. So if you're quoting a paper with one author, then it would look like this in the in-text citation. This is Mandelbaum, 2002. If you're quoting a paper with 2 authors, then you do last name, ampersand, last name, and the year. So Honeycutt and Cantrill, comma, 2014. 3 or more authors, you use this little Latin shorthand et al. So you do the first last name of the paper. So this is De Soto et al. Period, comma, and the year 2011. So this is what an APA citation looks like specifically for a book. And I wanted to use this one because it shows kind of how things are, I guess, like modulated or bookended together. So for a book citation, we always have the author first, and you go author, last name, and beginning initials. And as you can see, this citation acts as if there are 2 authors. So we've got authors initial, ampersand, author, initial, periods. So then you've got the copyright year in parentheses, ended with a period, title of the book in italics, and because it's an edition, you put the edition and period, publisher, period, and the DOI, which is the, I believe, digital object integer, or the URL. So if it's an online source, where is it coming from? Now, one thing to point out is that each section is ended with a period in APA. So we've got authors, period, copyright year, period, title of book, period, publisher, period. And this is what it looks like for a journal article. It's pretty similar, but there are a few differences. The order is the same, as you can see. We've got the authors, same style, last name, initials, period. Year the journal article was published, period. Title of the article. Now, as you can see, only the first letter in the title of the article is capitalized. The rest is lowercase, period. Name of the periodical is in italics. Here we have a comma instead. The volume of the periodical, the issue, and the page numbers that the article itself comes out of in that journal, followed by a period. So here, this all is related to the actual journal itself. So that's why you've got comma, comma, and then a period, because all of this is related to the physical journal that holds the article. And then the DOI URL number. So how to create your own citation. And this is, I think, the easiest method to follow. So first is to figure out what kind of source it is you're citing, because that will depend on what the citation itself looks like. So is it a book? Is it a chapter? Is it a scholarly article, a website, an interview? The first step is to figure out what the source is. Once you figured out the source, the next step is to find the identifying information. So who authored it? When was it published? Who published it? This information is usually somewhere on the source itself. And then the last step is to follow the formatting of the APA style guide. So once you know what kind of source and you've got all the information to identify the source, then you just plug it into whatever the formatting guide tells you to. And as always, pay close attention to proper order, punctuation, italics, and all that. Resources for help. So the first obvious one is the APA 7th edition manual. There's a few copies of it. There's two in reference. There's one at the big table when you first walk into the library at the reference table, and there's one that stays at the reference desk. There's also the APA style.apa.org. That's the official website, and it's pretty helpful. And the last is the tried and true Purdue, the online writing lab, or OWL for short, owl.purdue.edu. And these are a few common citations in APA. This is, feel free to just take a screenshot, because these are the ones that you'll, if you're writing papers, ones you'll be using quite a bit. So there's a book citation and a example, an ebook citation, and a book chapter. This is a APA citation for an entry into an anthology or encyclopedia, followed by a scholarly journal article, a magazine, and a newspaper. And like I said, just feel free to take a screenshot of that if you need to for reference later. So the reference page at the end of your paper, when you are done writing the paper and you need to have all your sources at the end, here's what it looks like in APA 7. As you can see, you got your page number still. And then center and bold, you have the word references. And the next thing to do is you have all of the citations themselves, and they're in alphabetical order by that author's last name. So you see we have Connolly, Ingle, Hess, Honeycutt, Jenkins, and Jones. And as you also notice, this paper utilizes a bunch of different types of sources. So this first one is a magazine article that was found online, and this is a print book, a newspaper article, an ebook, a book chapter. They're all in here together, and they're only organized by that alphabetical author's last name. You'll also notice that if a citation runs more than one line, you indent it. So like right here with Hess, you see how it follows to this next line and this line, and then it's indented. That makes it easier to see when you're first glancing at it, how many sources are all together and then what information belongs to what source. So it doesn't just look like one basically block chunk of text. You've got 1-inch margins on all sides. Yep. And if you have any questions about any of this and want to speak to me or any of the other reference librarians at your university, you can always email us at refdesk@deltastate.edu. That connects to all of our emails. Or you can call the reference desk directly at 662-846-4431. And that is all I've got to share. And I hope this information is useful for you. And have a great day.